We have been talking about the power of beauty. If you're someone who follows social media, you've probably seen our next guest. She's being hailed as the new face of beauty. Please welcome Khoudia Diop and the co-creator of the Colored Girls movement, Victory Jones. So glad to have you both.
Thank you.
I might add that also joining us in our audience of the Colored Girl movement is Tori Elizabeth. Thank you. Thank you. So, Victory, how did you discover Khoudia?
We actually, Tori and I, found her on social media. For our campaigns, we kind of scout women on social media, and we found her. She had a little over 300 followers, and now she's over 310,000 in the span of, in the span of two months since our last campaign. She was featured in our last campaign, the Colored Girl Rebirth. So yeah, that's how we found her.
Wow. Now, Khoudia, you're from Senegal.
Yeah.
How long have you been in the U.S.?
1 year.
1 year. How did you start modeling?
I started when I was 17. I started in Paris. I did a couple of shoots there.
When you look at actress Lupita Nyong'o, as she is another dark-skinned trailblazer, has she in some ways, has her success kind of been a trailblazer for you?
Yeah, she really inspired me a lot.
Wow.
I love her so much.
Yeah. Well, you know, your whole movement focuses on raising the esteem of women of color. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, you can't really put beauty in a box, and especially for women of color, a lot of the times we're misrepresented or underrepresented. So the Colored Girl aims to change that and rewrite the narrative of what beauty is. And so using beauty in fashion campaigns and like stunning visuals, that's pretty much what we're doing, is, you know, representing women of color in the media in a way that they not normally are shown. You know, like little girls need to see that so they can feel beautiful too, they can feel confident too, they can feel inspired too. Like, this is, yeah, it's important.
You know, Tori, often in entertainment industries, there are not scripts written for women of color. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Definitely. So as Victory stated, our aim is to represent those women who a lot of times don't have a voice, or they always feel like, why am I not represented in movies or on television or in commercials? Like, what's wrong with me? And so I think media as a whole just needs to shift the way that we look at beauty, and just people just celebrate the differences and to just, you know, represent beauty in a way that it should be.
That's wonderful. I'd like to bring an expert into the conversation. She is a cellular and molecular biologist and an authority on beauty perceptions and attraction. Please welcome Joanne Manister. Thank you for being here. Joanne, let's talk about the science of beauty.
Every time I look at the beauty industry or anything, I look with a scientific lens. And one thing we are seeing, that it doesn't matter really what your size is or what your color is, but we can see beauty based on proportion. And it actually comes down to our biology, that when we see symmetry and good proportion, what we're seeing is good health. And that goes down to the genetic level. So when we are ready to have a mate and then produce offspring, what we're going to end up doing is, hopefully with someone beautiful or attractive, this good health indicator could mean that we are going to have children that are also very healthy, and that's actually what's most important.
Interesting.
Oh, wow.
Actress Amber Heard is considered by scientists to be proportioned almost perfectly. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so a plastic surgeon in London has taken some measurements based on something called the golden ratio. And they say, you know, the most beautiful spacing of the eyes is related to the distance between the eyes, related to the distance between the pupils, and if it meets these certain mathematical measurements, then this is considered beautiful. And they have these measurements for the whole face, vertically, horizontally, and that what happened with Amber Heard's face is that she met most of those criteria very, very closely.
Now, I understand Kim Kardashian kind of fits pretty close in that range.
She does. She definitely does. Her eyebrows actually match the formula perfectly, you know, where they measured up to from the corner to the arch and then across. And we're seeing this all over in many beautiful people.
You know, is it nature or nurture that draws these conclusions as to what beauty is? Is it that we are conditioned to find certain things more beautiful than others, or is it that this is some rule book somewhere out in the universe floating around in some galaxy that says you must look like this?
Well, that's an excellent question, and I would expect it's a mixture of both because, you know, there are people who do not fit those measurements and yet
Right.
are still considered very beautiful because they have a way of expressing themselves and engaging you with their eyes and their smile and the way they carry themselves and responding to you. So, you know, really when it comes down to it, when it comes to a beautiful face or a beautiful figure, that's important in the first few seconds. And after that, it's everything
Right.
else.
Khoudia, you have been in America, you've been in Senegal, you've been in Paris, you've been around the world. Have you seen a fluctuation in the definition of beauty based on the culture or the continent that you're on?
Yes. In my country, for example, they see, like the lighter you are, the more beautiful they find you. And I think it's something that they really should forget about because I think every woman is different and we're all beautiful in different ways.
I see.